Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in another conversation with us here with me, Mrigna and Pankaj. And let me introduce our guest today. Today we have with us Mr. Avtar Singh Cheema, who has been based out of Chandigarh, who is the founder and CEO of Palliative Peace. This is an organization which is actually doing a lot of amazing work at grassroots level. And this is the reason today we have invited him to share his knowledge, his understanding about palliative care with all of us. And with us is also Anu ji from UAE. Anu ji has been working as a palliative care nurse. She has been working for more than 13 years now in palliative care and has an amazing experience of teaching, and especially hospice care has been one of her subject matter expertise. So it'll be wonderful to have conversation with both of them and understand, where the whole scenario of palliative and hospice care is going towards. We'll talk about Indian perspective, UAE perspective, and for our experts, we also have with us Pankaj, from whom we'll try to understand the guidelines and what are the norms in various states and country wise also. I think it becomes different. So we'll be discussing all of these details with Pankaj. So Pankaj, let's go ahead for today's session.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Mrigna. It's a pleasure to have all of you for this session and really look forward to the learnings of Anu and Avtarji, because this is one particular subject which somehow people don't like to talk about, but then it's a reality which hits us on a particular day, which when we are not really prepared for. So I think sessions like these and interactions like these are very important. So to begin with, I'll just open the questions to both Avtarji and Anu as to what do you think is the real ground level situation of palliative care and hospice care in India as such. What is the reality when you come and when you want to address a particular issue like palliative and hospice care?
Um, so actually, you can say they are taking just baby steps. So it is approximately 7 to 10 million people, Indians, they require palliative care annually, but only less than 4% actually receive it. And these services are more concentrated in the urban areas, not in the rural areas and all. So there is along with that, there is a serious shortages of infrastructure, trained personnel, and essential medications and all. So, and even there are major barriers are due to the lack of access to the pain medications like morphine, because of the misconceptions and a lot of stigmas they have related with the painkillers and all. So, and there is mostly there is a shortage of trained staff. That is also one of the main barriers. So, and there are policy driven changes also, legal hurdles also, and there's a social stigma along with that, with the cultural taboos and all, because that is related with the terminal death and terminal illnesses and all, means which we totally try to avoid in the open conversations and all with the family, um, uh, with everyone, no, we can say that. So this is the ground-based scenario right now in India.
Okay. So, Anu, what do you think is the experience from your side?
See, adding to it, as per the directory, around 2,000 palliative care centers, almost 1,000 are in Kerala. So now you can understand, like, the situation other than the other other states of India. And there are only gaps. Because I have been working in with marginalized communities and rural population. We don't have resources, we don't have trained staff, we don't have, as Darji said, we have, dire need of opioids. We lack infrastructure facilities. We don't have the people to call for help if there is an emergency. So it's still in the baby steps.
Okay. So just to
Yeah,
clarify or just to help our listeners for this particular topic, how would you define palliative care and hospice care? Because not many people are really aware of the difference between palliative and hospice.
Sir, actually, if we go through the Indian scenario, that what is hospice and palliative care, they both are underdeveloped right now, severely underdeveloped. They don't have much of a differentiation. So, for a palliative care, we can call that, we can say that it's a kind of treatment, or it's a kind of a care that goes along with the diagnosis of the patient. When he or she is diagnosed with a life-limiting or life-threatening conditions, so at that moment itself, the palliative care starts. So it goes along the trajectory of the illness. So along with that, they have to provide dignity care. They have to provide treatment, not treatment, you can say it's a supportive type of care. So that is what palliative care means. And hospice care is a, you can say it's a inbuilt, it's a space where they take patients, where they keep the patients for the last moments of their lives. Like they have approximately 6 months, 1 month, or it's a totally end of life care. It's a very specifically designed for that. That is a hospice care. But unfortunately, we don't have such kind of facilities right now in India. It is very well developed in the Western civilizations and all, but not in the India. So we have some kind some sort of setups in Punjab, I can say, like what you call, we can say ashrams and all, like Pingalwadas and all. No? So we can call them that they are the palliative care or hospices, but those people also doesn't have that kind of knowledge and that kind of capabilities to take care of the patients in a specific way, in where they have to undergo proper palliative care treatments and hospice cares and all. No? So we don't have a general book of rules and regulations, ethics and all about palliative care and hospice care right now in India. That is on my side. And
Mm. That's very interesting, Avtarji, honestly. And Anuji, I was very impressed when you spoke about Kerala. So we have been all reading all about the Kerala model, which is internationally recognized,
hey,
for its community-led approach, neighborhood network of palliative care. So I would really like to know a little more from you, who has worked there on the level. So how is it actually? How does it functions?
For one more differentiation for that, the previous question I'll add. What if I say palliative care? Palliate is otherwise called supportive, to reduce the symptom, to reduce the suffering. So palliative care is otherwise synonymously called a supportive care. So the misconception here is when people say, okay, it's time for palliative care, or shall we include palliative care team for your care? They think, okay, it's giving up or it's the end. Palliative care is not always the end. There are people in Kerala who are receiving palliative care more than 30 years, like say paraplegia patients, stroke patients, patients who had RTA and spinal cord injury who couldn't move. They will be in that situation for their life, for their lifetime issue. So they may have need like catheterization or frequent infections or muscle wastage. We do support them. So that is palliative care. So hospice care is a component of palliative care where we give hospice care to those patients who are near the life closure in maybe 6 months or less. In Western world, it is 1 year or less. So in India, actually, we get only days. When they come to palliative care, it's like, they are in their last terminal breath and they come, they say, okay, now it is time for palliative care. Then we can't do anything. We literally can't do it. That is one of the problem arise because of the misconception that palliative care is always considered as a giving up, but it's not giving up. It's adding to your dignity, making you comfortable, making you symptom free, having full of life. Till however, there is life, and also including family, making things more, with more quality. Your life will be ensured with more quality. So that is palliative care, and the positive. I wish to take it as a always positive. Hospice care is also again positive because we cannot avoid this, even though we are in a death denying thing, but we make it death, even though it is not something like pleasant, but we make it as comfortable as possible, which with much reduced pain free or breathlessness problem, whatever. And with how you wish to have your life closure, and that is promised. That is hospice care. And coming to the next question of what is happening in Kerala. See, Kerala, we have NNPC, Neighborhood Network in Palliative Care, where the ownership of most of the palliative care service delivery is taken up by volunteers. So we do have under our policies, we have a state policy which is from 2008. We have one of the first state in India to have palliative care policy, where each panchayat has a dedicated palliative care team, and in each palliative care team, there is a set of volunteers who will be visiting patients in their home, who will be the connecting person between the home, the patient, and the healthcare unit, maybe home care unit, maybe the nurse, usually the nurse. So than a healthcare provider, it's the volunteer who know the real situation. Okay, we go to a home and see for 30 minutes. We don't know what is the caregiver, the relationship, what is the background. Maybe they act good to us, say those things. But volunteer will be knowing everything. He can collect data and he will be in and around the neighborhood. So there is a beautiful community whole together setup, especially in the northern part of Kerala, where the community is taking ownership for the meeting the palliative care needs of people in the community, and that's such a beautiful model which has gained so much of world attention and popularity, and they are trying to replicate this model in different parts of the globe. There are challenges.
Wow, I really wasn't aware of this, such a
Yeah, just to
concept,
add,
because yes, Haji.
Yes,
just to add,
I think
it
in
was step
India
one.
this. Sorry, yeah, Avtarji, please.
No, I just want to add this, which she has explained so beautifully. So this was started by Dr. Rajagopal, you know, the pioneers, and Dr. Suresh. And we have seen their first photographs, and they have just started out of a cupboard that was 4 by 4. And I have read their manuscript also, and it is just a community caring for each other. And when we went over there, and we saw practically, it was so beautiful. They have at least, I think, uh, one or two in each neighborhood. There are more than in each gully, you can say there is one or two palliative care units will be there. And they have, because state government has taken this under their wings, and also they have now flourished. And even still, there is some percentage of Kerala population that is not getting proper treatment, but they are at the this is the one of the most designed or designated model that has been followed by throughout the world. They have created a new model now, they called compassionate communities and all, based on Kerala model. And it is so beautifully designed, and it is so means it is so lovingly, because when you see that human being caring for human beings, so it is so wonderful thing. So they come together, they take care of themselves, and they take care of and most amazing thing which I found when I read that manuscript, was that all professionals, that whether they are means any professional, they are allowed to contribute. If you are accountant, you are allowed to contribute in your own professional ways and all. There is no designated like that you have medical care knowledge and all, but any kind of care they want to, you want to contribute to the community, you can come and contribute. It is a so beautiful model. And they have created compassionate communities out of which right now, and it is right now it's taking us good edge. So it was good.
Yeah, very interesting actually. When we see the statistics, whereas Kerala is providing 90% of the palliative care in India at this point in time. So these facts really make a lot of difference. And my next question was actually about compassionate communities. What do you think about it? I wanted to ask you that. And especially in perspective of replicating the same things across India. What do you think can be the challenges And what do you think? What are the possibilities lie for private as well as government sectors to replicate the same thing? Is what my next question would be.
So when we were taught in a fellowship through Institute of Palliative Medicine and Saint Christopher, we both are there, and when we were taught in there, we are first our lesson is that you cannot replicate any model. You cannot replicate Kerala's model. You that because every community has their own limitations, their own cultural values. So that's why you cannot replicate those, but you can take some points and you can make your own model. Like in Punjab, we have made Punjab model. We call it as Palliative Peace. With our organization, they have started a Punjab model of nursing care. In that model, what we have done is we have taken community. We have same kind of thing. We have taken community, but that community is at the large. So there are certain sets of NGOs that are working in the community. So we have network with them. So what we do is that whenever a patient comes to them who wants palliative care, they get referred to us, and we take care of that patient. And whether he is inpatient in our unit or whether he's outpatient, and we help give them support treatment and all. So in that way, means we try to do it. As you know that Punjab is more of a state where they give much more you say push to the human values. So in that means a lot of seva, a lot of this one and all these things come in the North India and all. No? So we have tried to integrate these things in their minds that what is how you want to care. We right now we need just infrastructure in the sense that it should be a mindful infrastructure in which people should realize that what is palliative. First, they should have a distinction between what is palliative care and what is a simple care. So we want to educate them. We want to do advocacy for palliative care. So in that way, we can just create some sort of network, and this is what we call it as compassionate communities. The same thing like neighborhoods, Kerala model neighborhood, that each neighbor is taking care of them. So we have integrated palliative care into the minds of the people in the community, that how you want to care for the people next door. So that way we can have compassionate communities in India, I think. Anu, you want to share?
Adding to what Avtaji has explained, what I want to say is like every community has community dynamics, every community has its own culturally sensitive things. So these models evolve from, from within. We can take what are the pros and cons, what are uh, the thing attributed to the success of Kerala model, what were the challenges. So we take inputs from them and we can, we can have our own modify Kerala model to the different settings. Few challenges was, when we try to replicate Kerala model to Pondicherry, the population was totally different. So in Kerala, people were able to take care of the neighborhood, but in the community where I was, they were in need of somebody to come and serve them. So the socioeconomic background was, very, they were, very much pushed, very much below from the Kerala thing. So those kind of community dynamics, those kind of micro environmental issues affect when we try to do. But of course, this model has got lot of sub themes like student involvement. We can have student involvement. The thing is that students have to be trained, sensitized in the right way to have that compassionate responses, preparedness. So these things can be learned from Kerala model and replicated elsewhere. And these things are taken by different countries to do it in their thing. In Kerala, we have palliative care in school curriculum as an acquired skill. So students know what is palliative care so that we are reducing the space for the misconception. So people knew that, okay, it is time for palliative care. Okay, palliative care is good. Rather than, okay, we don't want palliative care team to come and see my father, or we don't want palliative care team to come and see my mother at home. That is not happening here. So those kind of things are reduced because of student involvement. And having student is like, and volunteers, they can do so much. So those things we can incorporate and can have modify the model and replicate, I mean, have our own model in the community. There are compassionate care, and there is something started in Calcutta, there is something in Pondicherry, there are something going on in different parts of UK. I think something is going in Latin America countries, also in Indonesia, somewhere in Indonesia too. But they are evolving. They are evolving. This is not just something can be completely transferable, but evolving. It will not happen overnight. It will take months. It will take years. And the core team should be well, have a goal to have it. They should be well trained. They should be able to face the challenges, because there are community issues keeping on happening, and that goes.
Wow, in
Yes,
fact,
I
after listening to both of you, uh, actually, it was giving me a lot of goosebumps to see the level of investment or the involvement you are both in that particular cause. And genuinely, it is very, very encouraging to see people talking of this subject with a smile. Because the moment we talk about death and dying or anywhere close by, all of us start thinking, oh, that is the end of the universe. But bringing in or romanticizing the particular element of care is something which is very good. And I have a slightly different take on this. Is probably this care of end of life is much more deep rooted in India, especially when it comes to the connection with the Ganges River. I don't know if Avtarji will agree to me or not, but Ganga River has a lot of significance attached
Yes, yes.
to end of life, and that is why if you see centers like Vrindavan or centers like
Kashi,
Kashi and these places, this was the end of the uh, let's say end of the new journey or the beginning of the end, let me put it that way. And probably that is why if you see it, I'm sure you will find a couple of palliative centers there who would have been doing it from 70, 80, 100 years.
yes, sir. Yeah, they
Okay,
are.
this is probably matlab, that somewhere I would have
yeah,
done a little bit of reading, but I think this is something which we can combine
I
a lot of.
I think there
yeah,
was
it's
one
a
movie,
very
Return to Kashi or something like that. One movie was there also. So in that movie, they showed that they have built some small houses, some like apartments and all at the banks of the Ganges and all. So in there, the people will go during their end stages and of their life when they know that they're going to die. They will go over there and they will spend their last moments so that. Whenever they pass on that piece of land, they will go straight into the heavens and they will be shed full of their sins and all. So that is very embedded in our cultural aspect. It's really embedded through the Vedas, through the Puranas and all. So when you go and when we were doing Death Dola courses and all, in there also we realized that these things are very intrinsically embedded in our culture. So we have to take good respect of that those things, that these are the most essential things when we take care of a person at the end of life period. We have to respect their wishes. We have to see that how culturally sensitive they are, how emotionally they are bounded with their cultural values and all. Because during the last phases and all, they will put some drops of Ganga gel in the mouth of their. In fact, one doctor was in Australia and she was writing a petition on this thing. They were not allowing Ganga Jal to be put into the patients' mouths in Australia in their hospice, because they were government was opposing that thing, because they think that that was not ethically right to put, but they were fighting for that right. I think they got I don't know right now, but that was the thing. So you are right, sir. You're right.
Yeah, I
If I'm
think
not
this.
mistaken, it is called, they are called Mukti ashrams.
Mukti ashrams, yes.
Yeah, that's true. It's
Reading the
it's a very
history,
culturally imbibed thing, no, in our culture where we talk about death and everything. But the thing is, in terms of now, I was very impressed when Anuji was speaking about student volunteers and skill training program imbibed at the education and the school level.
Yeah,
Because I personally feel if you teach one child, the whole family gets educated about the whole subject,
yes.
which I feel is a very amazing thing if we somehow can, make these ground level changes throughout India, no? Because education being the fundamental right, government, Indian, especially Indian government, working so much towards the education of the younger ones. If it becomes part of the curriculum, kids go back home, tell their parents, and also another generation we are educating. It's not only just one family or one individual, it's a whole generation getting educated about something as important as acceptance of palliative care. And even if it is going towards hospice care, like I was like Pankaj said, it's an amazing thing that both of them are talking and they're talking with a smile on their face. So for us, honestly, it is really amazing perspective to see, and it's not only about how it is it's being shown, it's also the matter of how it is being done, which I feel makes a lot of difference in everything. So, my next question would be about palliative care in terms of home care perspective. Let's say we have spoken about there can be centers, there have been centers in places like Kerala, and no, though whole of India doesn't has, such possibilities. So, let's say if palliative care happens in home, what are the things to be taken care of? What are the government norms and policies around that? Uh, and then my next would be towards if it is done in a third place, let's say it's an assistive care facility or it's a hospital. So why not hospital and why palliative care unit?
No,
This would be my question for our listeners to understand the difference.
why not hospital again? See, connecting with the previous question, in our society we had a culture of vanaprastha, taking elder responsibility, or moksha or mukti or liberation or samadhi. We had this as a normal thing happening in life. Now, because of infiltration of all the quaternary care, tertiary care hospitals, we have medicalized it. I myself, my qualification as a cardiothoracic nurse, and I know like how much ever I have assisted or I have been taken care of people who have on ECMO, on dual ventilators, on dialysis, 45 days or more in ICUs. We will not allow people to die. So, as against to it, palliative care is somewhere like we embrace the natural thing. That doesn't mean, again, I'm stressing it, that doesn't mean that we are not going to treat. We treat, we manage everything possible. We treat everything, reversible. We treat. But along with that, we care. And along with that, we accept what is beyond, you know, our thing. Or we weigh the good and bad, or beneficence and the harm, and then we take a decision. That's the difference in palliative care. So when hospital has got, how many people are dying, one of the question that hospital has to do, how many people have died in your hospital, they say, okay, we have a palliative care unit and all are dying there. You cannot release the report, or you cannot make it in a palatable way, how much ever it is. So that is one reason, like we have a little standalone space, maybe little away from the hospital, where we don't have the monitors. We are not that doesn't mean we are not going to use monitors, or we are not going to use oxygen. We use, but if required, if necessary. That is how we have a clinical team also. So that is one reason why. And my request will be, if every elderly centers have inbuilt palliative care unit as a supportive, it's like supportive. think that will be much greater initiative, because currently most of the issues, most of the harm victims are elderly people. Say cancer people, they will be in hospital, somehow they get referred to palliative care. I'm not sure, like maybe at least a small percentage. But elderly, there is no chance that, very less chance, I don't know, maybe a fraction, point, that they get referred to a palliative care unit. And even in my village, it is a village. Now, most elderly people are dying in ICU after at least 15 days of, enduring all the intubation, this, and ending up in a multi-generational debt. I will not say 8 lakh or 10 lakh is something that the family could pay back in 1 month or 2 months. They might have sold their family. So keeping the financial issue, keeping the harm, the trauma of the patient and the family, the issues, the challenges, everything, I'll say, to integrate palliative care into elderly thing, will be one of the giant step, a milestone achievement in India.
Absolutely. I think that's a very valid point, and I feel it is right now in the high-end places, it's on need basis. But I think your point is absolutely correct that it should be as an integral part of the geriatric care units. And though it makes it a little depressing for people around, like you said, but it's interesting that to die with dignity is a right, and it
Yeah,
should be a right to each individual, that they have a right to pass with dignity. And this is, I think, what the palliative care units are doing across, across globe, to give them that right to pass with peace, to pass with, whatever their religious beliefs are, their cultural faith is, whatever they believe in, you know. So I think that's a very beautiful point of view of looking at the whole situation. And, if we see everything together, it combines beautifully for me.
Kashi,
And
actually, sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, please, Avtarji. Because
Kashi,
my next
yeah,
question was for you only to talk about the same perspective when we are doing home care. Because let's say let me talk about 50 plus. So 50 plus is doing home care, and we build up these palliative care units in their houses,
yeah.
within the house. So let me know. I would like you to talk about the norms, the government regulations around it, and what are the obstacles. Though we face a lot of them, but I would like to know from you, because you have been doing it for such a long time, and what are obstacles that you have been facing, especially when you're doing at-home palliative cares.
Actually, whenever you ask a patient or anyone, even if I'll ask you, three of you, that what is your preferred place of dying, you will say home, surrounded by loved ones.
Very true.
So this is the thing that we prefer. But our Dr. Suresh always says that you will not get that kind of consideration in your life, because the thing is that when you are at the verge of dying, people will just pick you up and they will throw you into the ICU. That's all, because they don't want you to die. They are not understanding what is the death. It is not the end. It is not the dignity that you will get in the ICUs. You will have every tube invaded in your orifice, each orifice, lot of tubes, lot of things, and unnecessary medications and everything that will be there. And they'll just push into you. They will not ask you, because you are not at that point. You will not be able to say even a word. You are just lying over there. So people prefer, nowadays we are thinking that whenever I get a call from good persons and some knowledgeable persons, or a family that is highly educated, they will ask for palliative care in their homes. They For us, the first preference will be a palliative care nurse who is trained in the palliative care aspects. And then there will be, if a patient is diagnosed with a supposedly any cancer, and he has excruciating pain, cancer pains and all, he will need morphine, he will need narcotics and all. At that time, you want to have a medical prescription through a palliative care doctor, and that person should have a license to authorize, to legalize that kind of usage of the drug. So palliative care nurse is essential thing. So with that, she will be taking care of everything. So because when you transition care in your home, then what we do is that we measure all the social dynamics, all the economical dynamics of that house, that how they will manage, whether the patient will be safe there, whether the patient they will take care of the patient. Then we try to improvise a lot of things and all, and we just place some caretakers and all over there, so that the 24/7 one caretaker will be there with them. And after that, whenever a nurse will come, she will be doing any kind of dressings and all, wound dressings and all. So these are the things. Regarding the rules and regulations, they are very clear, and there are very clear guidelines on end of life care, but those are not imparted on this thing, what you say, on the home base at all. Those are general description line guidelines, because right now in India we don't have any sort of specific uh, design structure for palliative care and hospice care. We are just in the initial phases of our this thing. In Western cultures and all, they have highly developed guidelines and all.
Very true. I mean, uh, I think the biggest challenge that honestly that we have been also facing is around the bureaucracy around opioids in India,
Yes.
especially in palliative care. I think it's a must thing to make them as comfortable as possible at times, but the bureaucracy around is astonishingly high, and it's very difficult. Of course, it has its own reasons, but I think even to the reliable people or the people who are actually should be able to work around they also find it very difficult. So I think that's one of the major challenges, that we have been also facing and we have been seeing around in India. For example, if I compare with the system here in Brazil, so they have a system here called as the SUS, which is by the government. And in SUS, they cover everything for you, including palliative care. The doctor or the care worker decides, okay, this is the moment maybe you need to shift to a palliative care system. It can be organized within your house, it can be organized within a designed place for you. And considering it's a developing country, it's not a developed nation like United States, or it's not a developed nation like Europe in that case. So these are the things we have been observing around, and talking about further on about palliative care. When we are I'm very intrigued when you are speaking about, the fact that how at home it is the best way that we would like to pass. Okay, if I think for myself, I'll agree with you, Avtarji, and Anuji, about this, that even tomorrow if I have to pass, I would love to pass away with dignity around the people I love, maybe in the house that I've lived all my life, or have put my savings in making, all my hard work, all my emotions,
Yes.
where my kids grew up, that would be probably my choice of place, where I
Yes.
would like to pass away. And
Mhm.
it's a real fact. But the thing is, in India, since we don't have DNRs,
Yeah.
what is the next best thing, and what is the role of hospitals here to say, now, boss, this is the time the individual needs to go in palliative care? I would love to know from you, Anuchi, because you have been working in the hospital setups, around. It's a very
It's
trick
a very
question, but I would
important, yeah,
love to know.
important
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
This is one, way out, because 2023 in India, we have Supreme Court have brought in advanced directives of living will. So living will, implementation of living will is a possible solution to most of these problems. What happens otherwise is that if there is an emergency, patient is taken to hospital, and patient is pushed to ICU for no for we know that patient will die for sure, but that's the only way. But living will, let me explain. Like living will is a will, a medical will taken, drafted by the individual, about the medical needs, his wishes, that if suppose I am getting this, or if in case I have diagnosed this, under these circumstances, I really don't want to have CPR on me, or I don't want to get resuscitated. If that is there in place, which is assigned by, another person, we who will implement this in case if I am comatose, or I could not take, I lost my mental capacity to do, or I am not able to communicate, things like that. And if it is simplified way, it is, if it is approved by a gazette officer, it is a document. So hospital has to accept it. It is not yet started, but only if we roll it out, we can understand the ground level challenges involved in it. But out of the hours hospitalization, which is ending up in ICU, is the challenge. And for that, I think this will be a possible solution. Because my own patients, when I'm treating patients in palliative care unit of my medical college, if they are getting admitted without noticing us to the emergency, breathlessness is the issue, and then they will be pushed to ICU. Then it is very difficult for me to take them from the ICU and shift them to palliative care unit. It is very difficult unless you have that kind of rapport with the ICU consultant. In our hospital, it is little more possible because we work together, but otherwise it is very difficult. So if there is a living will in place, and if the family is showing okay, and the treating doctor or the doctor can okay, because there is something clinically to be done. So understand, okay, this is in particular situation where the patient has already requested. We can, so living will is in place, so we can surpass that DNAR issues in India. But it has not, practically implementing has not started. Only some places in Kerala and Hinduja Hospital last week, they have started the living will clinics to create awareness, because most of the people, they don't know what is the alternative way than putting their dear one into an ICU in case of emergency. They don't know how to do it. They don't know what else to do it. They think that that is the best thing I can do. So that is how we have been, taught or misunderstood by. So that is the issue. I have money. I will do everything possible to keep my mother alive to how much ever days possible. So, and I have seen many people coming to us in guilt and telling that, okay, I was not aware of it. My mother has requested me to take me out of this ICU for heaven's sake, but I didn't say. I ignored that request. And the rest of their life, they will be living in guilty for pushing. I'm not telling that all ICU admissions are unwanted. I'm mentioning unwanted ICU admissions. So
Yes.
it's so we have challenges. We really have a lot of challenges. We really have to do a lot with public awareness, creating public awareness, um, uh, having more of death cafes, having more about preparing, life closure, having more of this kind of talks on what else, what if. Those are difficult to start, but these are required.
Yes, Manoj, very
Mrigna
well said.
and yeah,
Yeah.
Avtarji, Anu, and Mrigna, I have only 3 points to suggest. Probably as a result of this kind of insight and a discussion, uh, in the next coming months, probably 2 3 months, if we can actually have just just 2 minute, 2.5 minute kind of a cartoon videos. Okay. Which I believe is not very difficult to make these days on these sensitive topics like palliative care and things like that, which we can just shoot it out to the school teachers and things like that, that you can just share it amongst your students. So it is just a 1.5 minute clip as to what is palliative care and why, but just trying to remove that stigma attached to all these kind of things. So something like this, a small kind of a project we can do, which can be done by our volunteers, and which will actually bring in more awareness to this particular subject. Because thinking of doing something very big at the national level and approaching the government, somehow that has not been a very successful uh, effort, at least from the organizations which I have worked with. So eventually, one has to change strategies and say, okay, whatever we can do within our own capacities, let's do that. And somewhere down the line, I'm sure it will filter down, and someone will see, oh, this is there. So if you remember, there used to be a TV kind of an ad. It used to come long back when it was black and white days. Like ek thi chidiya, anek chidiya. Getting it, those kind of memories are
Yes.
still there. So you have to make these kind of small jingles with the small cartoons, which will really resonate with the public at large, which
No,
is a
I
lighter
think
way.
that's a beautiful way, Pankaj. I feel, and you're right. I think changes need to be small and persistent versus huge things we are planning for and not able to do anything. And Anuji, thank you so much for the insight. I mean, I agree with you. Not all ICU admissions are unnecessary, but there are unnecessary ICU admissions for sure. So I totally agree to this point, and I think we have, have conversed around a lot of beautiful things. Now, I would love to talk to Avtarji about the counseling part of the family. What are the challenges you feel while counseling the family about it that I think your father or your mother or maybe your son, you know, who is terminally ill needs to undergo palliative care. So, what are the challenges around it? And how do you handle these challenges around the counseling part of it? Since I know you have been doing it for a lot of people, I don't know if you would like to share for, how long you've been doing this and would love to know from you.
Yeah, Mrigna ji, collusion is a one of the what is it negative aspect of the palliative care. We want always to hide what is painful to us. It is there, it is visible in front of us, but we don't want to see that. We don't want our loved ones to die. First and foremost thing, we want to do whatever we can to save them, whether they are 150 years old, because there is no end to the love. There is no age to the love. So at that time, whenever a patient or a family member they call us, and first my first okay, have you told your parents you are diagnosed with this, or have you told your son that you are diagnosed with this, or whether you have told your father that he is diagnosed with this? They will always say no. We don't want you to say anything to him. Then what I'll suggest to them is that, see, are you sure that you are not going to die? First question. See, death is inevitable. It is going to come to you and me. I don't know whether I'll be able to cross that door because I have not had something written in my hand that I possess this power and I'll be alive for such time. So I don't have, I do not have anything to make me myself assured that I am not going to die. So are you, and so is he. So what is the good thing? So good thing will be that we should tell him, we should respect his wishes. Whatever he want to say, whatever he want to disclose to you, whatever he has kept inside for all these years and all. So we want to explore that aspect of his journey, and it was your journey with him till this far, and now you want to betray him by just not disclosing anything to him. So I'll try to emotionally manipulate them, very frankly, very frankly, because that is a way I know that Punjabi peoples will understand. See,
True.
so means I try to do such kind of a thing. So they one after one or two meetings they will come. Okay, sir, let's do. Then we break the bad news and all. We have a spikes protocol. We have a lot of protocols in breaking bad news to the patient, to the family, to the everyone and all. So we try to do, and what we do at that time is listen to them. Our main thing is listening. That's all. Communication is the foremost thing that we do. We have active listening in there, and we try to listen whatever they want to say, whatever they want to share. We want to make a good referral, and eventually they will come under your wings and they will say, okay, let's do, sir, what you want to do. So that's a part of the counseling, but which we'll do. But here in palliative peace and all, we don't have such what you say, such kind of thing, because what I am having all those patients who are destitutes. They don't have any. They are ignored by society in general. Whether they die right now, whether they die a day after tomorrow, nobody will remember them. It always depends upon the strata of society where you are exploring all those things. It's like that. Anu can share. In fact, sorry to interrupt. I would like to just make excuse. I have to go. One of my patient who got that surgery, no, she has developed some complication. I think I have to take.
Anyhow, we were, yes,
Thank
we
you.
really
Thank you so much,
appreciate,
Pankaj ji. Thank you,
and we
Mrigna
will
ji.
take it up further, sir.
Anu,
Right.
bye-bye.
Okay. Sat Shri Akal ji.
Sat Shri Akal ji.
I wish to add on a few things to it. See the current generation, whether it is elderly or young children, because I'm taking care of both children and adults, are are not, so naive of social. They are very friendly with social media and they know what is biopsy for. They know what is going to a cancer center for. So even though most of the patients have not, children have not told their mother, or parents have not told to their children, when we ask them, okay, have you shared the diagnosis any time? They say no. And when I go and sit with the patient, whether it is an old age or child or whatever, and ask, do you know what is going on with you? They say, they think that I don't know, but I know chemotherapy is for cancer. I know biopsy is to test cancer. I know what is happening with me. And I will, second question will be, do you know what is happening with you currently? They will, like, most of them have exactly told, okay, I know. They love me and so they are not opening up it with me, but I know this is something not light, like a fever or like some other curable diseases, but I am going. The things are becoming worse because I can make it out from my body that I am becoming weaker day by day, and things are not. So even some children directly told me, "I know I am going to die." Now, when I ask more, okay, how do you know? No, I know because my mother is not behaving like to me like how she was before. My mother is sitting and crying, and when I'm opening my eyes, she's wiping the tears. I can make it. Even children can and they understand it. So pollution is there. It's true. It's truly there. But there are patients. So we need to have family involvement and things like that. Openly discuss. And once you have crossed this, then things will be more inclusive, more, we can plan more in a very, siblings, the involvement of siblings, the involvement of other family members, life closing. We can make it in a better way. The thing is that they don't know how to handle it. So we say even the dying people are more scared of symptoms. Like what if than death? It's if they are scared of pain and loneliness. We assure them, no, we will make sure that you are not going to have pain here, and we will be there. Whatever you want, we assure them that we will do it to the best of our possibility. And again, they know that we are not God. We have our own limitations, but the assurance and the trust that we develop with our patient, that matters.
No, it's very interesting, Anu, and what probably we'll take it offline. This the website which of elderly care in India, which I'm trying to get it onto the WhatsApp mode, which is more approachable by more people. So in that, one element which is going to be added on over the next couple of months is a AI interactive module. Okay, in which I want to include a palliative care and death and dying part of it. So you will be able to speak on a voice note and inquire that, okay, am I dying, or I have got this, what should be done, or but it's going to be an interactive thing. So things which you can't just speak to anyone, the family, like questions like what you're saying, should I tell my family? Or so we'll use all your experience, yours, Mrigna's and others' experiences, and list down a couple of 100 questions, and we'll integrate it into that AI. So it's like a kind of a normal app which you use, that when you say, okay, you want to buy insurance, type in your question. Okay, so you're going to have that kind of a thing which is going to give some kind of a comfort level, that, oh, I have been diagnosed with cancer, what should I do? Okay, so things like this, we'll work it out, and it will become a very practical thing which will go at the grassroots level. Whether it is in Malayalam or it is in Tamil or things like that, it will get converted into all of them. And I'm sure that is where our knowledge supporters and knowledge advisors, their role will come into play. So don't worry, we're not going to leave any of you that easily. We're going to ensure each and every drop of your knowledge from everyone is captured and well utilized. Over to you,
No,
Brigna.
yeah, no, thank you so much. I think it has been one of the most heartwarming conversation I've ever had on this kind of a platform. And honestly, it is very emotional for me also, in terms of understanding so many nitty-gritties that we see, though in my profession also we get to see a lot of people passing by, but since it's geriatric care, they are mentally prepared for it, the family is little mentally prepared for it. But when we talk about small children having cancer, or people who are not expected to pass, you know and they're passing, and when things go around that, so I understand. I mean, it brings a lot of other emotions and a lot of other things. So thank you so much, Anuji and Avtarji, both of you, for coming here, for your time, for your knowledge, and for the lovely sharing experience we all have had today. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
So much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you. God bless to all of you. And namaste.
Thank you.
God bless.